Hey guys, this is Rick coming at you with Weed to No Basis, the podcast for all things cannabis business related. Are you an entrepreneur? Have something you wanted to create, something you wanted to bring to life in the cannabis industry? Maybe you've always wanted to partake in one of the biggest industries in modern day history. This is the podcast to listen to. Hey y'all, this is Rick from Weed to No Basis. And you're here, you're listening, you're watching because you too are on a Weed to No Basis. Today's topic is going to be something that a lot of people are curious about. It's something relatively new in the cannabis industry. Remember, cannabis I'm talking about is CBD or marijuana, just the entirety. But before we go on, I just want to thank you and welcome you to HempQ. Always delighted to have you here, guys. And Chris Mega is right behind the camera, our producer. So we're here in force on a weekend recording. And today's topic is about something very interesting. It's an emerging field, if you will, in the industry, and it's called influencers. Now, influencers are in every other industry. They are, and they're in the cannabis industry, but cannabis influencers are relatively new because the business is relatively new. Nevada, for instance, just went recreational legal in 2017, just 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, depending on when you listen to this, whether it's 2019 or 2020. States now, as we speak, are coming on board online. So influencers aren't as well known. They're not as well discovered in this industry. They're in every other industry. From health and wellness to beauty to sports, you can likely point to a bunch of influencers. One that comes to mind immediately is like a Kardashian. What that means simply is that is somebody who receives some sort of remuneration. This is my example, guys. You can Google this. Some sort of remuneration in exchange for promoting a product or service. And influencers are now an emerging force in the cannabis industry. And not just promoting in terms of driving sales, ultimately, yeah, but promoting in terms of gaining awareness, eyeballs. The more people that are aware of your product or your service, the more people become aware of your product or service. There's no fancy way to go around that, guys. And the thing is, as you all know, marketing is a challenge in this industry. You can't run Facebook ads. You can't. You can try and trick the system, guys, but ultimately Zuckerberg owns that. You can be shut down in the blink of an eye. You don't own that. Influencers, though, for instance, they are themselves. They own themselves. They can't be shut down. They can go to events and promote for you. They can stand at a booth and promote for you. You can create a video like this to promote for you. And when you own this content, especially with influencers, you can't be shut down. Can't. And I'm going to tell you about an up-and-coming influencer. Now, remember how I told you in previous episodes, if you have a soapbox, stand on that motherfucker? That's the truth. You are your best promoter. You are. And if you're an influencer, you better be your own damn best promoter because that may likely be how you derive an income to feed yourself and your families. The influencer you never expected, 52-year-old guy from San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, it's us. It's us, guys. Here's the thing, I'm going to be very open and transparent with you. You see, because this is an up-and-coming field, and we do talk about finding the blue ocean. When you're thinking about your business, about what you're doing, your trajectory in the industry, it's finding the things that nobody's doing. When the herd zigs, you zag. And the more that we're asked to speak, this is going to be very self-promotional here, guys, but I want you to not look at this as Rick's talking about Weed to Know and Chris Mega and what they're doing. I want you to think about what we're doing for our business and how you can do the same. I met a lot of influencers, like legitimate influencers, guys, and I'm seeing the same things. Maybe you are too. I'm seeing a rolled up joint. I'm seeing people getting high. I'm seeing bongs honestly, I've never used a bong. To this point in time, I've never used a bong. We're seeing the same type of influence in the industry. Nothing wrong with it. But I started thinking to myself, again, guys, think about your business. Is this what the 40-plus-year-old newer person or consumer in the industry wants to see? Is this going to attract them? Is this going to compel them to want to go buy the product or the service? We got a visitor here. This is Mrs. Influencer now coming in. This timing could not have been better, because what we're doing, guys, as you noticed, that was my wife walking in as we're filming. I told you here at home, like she came up from downstairs, she came from upstairs and is down here. But my point is, guys, the things that we're seeing the traditional cannabis influencer do, they don't attract me. They don't attract, you just saw my wife walk in. I'm not attracted, generally speaking, to the industry by some pretty blonde girl on the beach smoking a joint. I know that that exists, but that's not for me. It's not for the people I want to impact. It's not for the companies that we're attracting. So we thought, how do we change that? How do we do this using our tools, our resources like Weed to Know Basis, and become a legitimate influencer for people who, I don't want to buy a fucking bong. I don't want to buy an eighth. I don't care about the latest, THC, the number of milligrams in this edible chocolate bar. All I want to do is be better, and I want somebody who's going to be relative to me, and who better than us? And you guys, literally, that was not planned. You just saw my wife walk in. She's not wearing a pot leaf t-shirt. She doesn't have a spliff behind her ear, and she doesn't have an eighth in her purse. We're actually going to be running some errands later on today, guys, and we are, without a doubt, not only consumers, but we're advocates for the industry. We're the influencer you never saw coming. Seriously. We're the influencers you never saw coming. Weed to Know Basis was created to create a different kind of influence, to create a different kind of message, to create a different kind of channel so that the people who are like us, guys, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying it's time. Remember how I've shared how the industry is so new that you can absolutely own a lane if you decide you want to own it? Weed to Know Basis and us, myself, look at my profile at Planet Boy. We are the cannabis influencers that you never saw coming. We create a message that is relative to the people in our demographic. Think about the things I'm saying and how you can apply it to your business. We're the company, the channel that folks come to when they want more 40-something-year-old executives, more 50-something-year-old empty nesters, where they want the Gen Xer who has some disposable income and wants to partake or consume or play in the industry in a responsible and ethical way. That's what we're about, and that's why we're the influencers you never saw coming. Consider that. I want you to also consider this. When you, as a brand, as a consumer, as maybe a brand new entrepreneur, when you're looking to tap into the type of person that we live and play with every day, Weed to Know Basis, at Planet Boy, our profiles, our programs, our message is now the influencer you never saw coming. This channel is the influencer's channel you never expected. Totally serious, guys. So what does that really mean? Remember, I've talked about in the past how we start with a lot of theory sometimes, then in real life, and then how to apply it. So the truth is, guys, the modern day influencer, generally speaking, they're the wake and bake mentality, right? Nothing wrong with it. I'm not judging, folks. I'm not judging at all. That doesn't appeal to me. I don't wake up, roll over, and light up my bong. I'm not a wake and bake type. I'm not. If that works for you as a 20-something or 30-something-year-old, more power to you. I'm not the type who smokes weed on the drop of a dime. I'm not. We're consumers, we're CBD advocates, we make moves in the industry, but you won't see me on Instagram, rolling up a fatty. You just won't, guys. So my point is that I'm wondering if the traditional, and I'm going to take some flack for this, the traditional cannabis influencer is creating a stereotype that we need to break through. And that's why, guys, I'm just plainly saying that Weed to Know Basis, and us, specifically myself, we're the influencer you never expected, which is why we're working with a few brands. You're going to start seeing us represent in a very real way some brands who are doing big things. For instance, like Rodkeys, like True Med CBD, and others. We're going to be representing some big brands in a real way, authentic, not the wake and bake style, guys. It's not us. It's not the brands we represent. It's like Tiffany's versus Zales. It's like BMW versus Kia. It's not good or bad or indifferent. It's just, where do you want to play? Where do you want to sit, guys? And so we are the influencer you never expected. We're not the young 20-something crowd. We're not about getting stoned on the weekends. We're not about posting memes about how we got high with mom, things like that, guys. We're about authentic messaging and really being relative to an age demographic who I bet you want to tap into. What this is really about is influencer stereotypes. We're a new stereotype. We are. The young lady you just saw walk in, my wife, and myself, we are the new cannabis stereotype. Think about the message, guys. Leave your comments below. Talk to us. Talk to me, Johnny. That's from Rambo. See, that's my age group, Rambo. I remember the line from Rambo from way back when, and a lot of you folks probably weren't even born yet. Because talk to me, Johnny. Leave a comment below, guys. We're the influence we never saw coming. Some big things coming at you in 2020. If you're watching this in 2020, then the big things are already here. When you want your message to propagate, to really hit home with people who aren't wake and bakes, who don't roll a spliff on a dime. I don't carry an eighth in my pocket. I'm an honest, responsible consumer in my 50s. When you want to reach the audience that we are naturally aligned with, the influencers you never saw coming, remember, of all the cannabis influencer stereotypes, add one more, right here. We Do Know Basis, guys. Follow us at We Do Know Basis on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram myself at Planet Boy. Guys, we're bringing something very new, very unique to the cannabis world. We are the influencers you never expected. You never saw us coming, and we're here to stay. Hit us up, guys. We're doing some big things rolling out in 2020. Have an awesome rest of the day. And remember, if you're watching this, if you're listening, it's because you too are on a We Do Know basis. Have a great one, guys. Peace.